Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fact Check TV. I'm Majoritas, better known to most of our followers as Mama J. We want to welcome you. We have a little echo going on, you all. Please bear with us. But we would like to welcome you in this evening. As usual, you need to go ahead, grab your cup. I don't care what you put in it. Ain't none of my business. But grab your cup, take a seat, and come on and join us. Tonight, my beautiful niece, Desiree, is going to go ahead and give you all a little update on what we will be discussing here tonight on Fact Check TV. Take it away, Dee.
Hi, guys. Well, we have a couple of subjects today. The one that I'm going to be talking about is going to be a gentleman by the name of Charleston White. He's a YouTuber. He calls himself an influencer. He's from Texas. He served a couple of years in jail for murder, and he has become famous over the last maybe 7 to 8 months because of his controversial statements, opinions, and he has gone to arguments with famous people, fought famous people, talk about famous people, kids. He has basically an opinion that's an unpopular opinion, and it's raising a little bit of controversy. So he was a guest star on a show recently, Young Jock. Young Jock is a former rapper who now has his own YouTube show, podcast. So the guy, Charleston White, was a guest on there for about 10 to 13 minutes. He spoke about a topic that we're going to kind of dissect. We're going to let you guys hear it, and then we're going to talk about it. And Jasmine, did you want to let them know the other topic we were going to talk about later on?
Later on in the show, we will be talking about the differential effects of media when it comes to minority and anybody outside of being a minority when you're missing. We also are going to discuss a very hot show that we will be having next week and letting you know about our very special guest. Meantime, between time, we're going to go ahead and play footage. Listen, pay attention so we can come back and dissect this conversation.
On raping women. Is rape being used as an acronym, or did you really mean that women can use some rape in your
yes. Most people don't realize that rap culture is rape culture. Rap culture is rape culture. We don't learn how to have consensual. Is get her drunk, get her high, find what she like to do to alter her mind. That's rape according to the law. When we run trains, we grew up running trains. We come from an era of, hey, we want some people. If you listen to those lyrics, it's about running a train. So when we was kids, 4th, 5th grade, you said we were listening to that. By the time we started having 6th and 7th grade, we raping. We coming in by one, we gonna have sex with one of us. But all 4 of us for the hit. And we all go hit for rape. We don't know we raping until I grow up and understand the law. If you get with a woman, and your intent is to get her drunk, you're raping her. Pop the bottles. You're raping her.
Buy the drugs, whatever.
So when she get initiated to our game culture, she's getting raped. Wow. She's getting raped. And so he is saying that some women need to, and it's, I believe in certain situations. Oh, yeah. In certain situations, I think it's okay to slap your woman.
Oh, Jesus. Not by law.
Not by law.
Don't do that.
But I'm not saying nobody do nothing. I'm speaking our culture. If you affected by what you're saying, how can you ignore this culture? If what I'm saying bothers you so much, you had R. Kelly for 20 years. You had Rick Ross who says, put a molly in her drink and she don't even know it. Man, I can take you back from Lil Wayne lyrics. They want sex slaves. They promote sex slaves.
Yes. And so with the rap, I agree.
So we could stop there. What's your thoughts?
A lot.
How could you sit and answer a question that a woman is asking you and sit there with a straight face and talk about how it's okay, basically, to rape a woman?
Right.
Well, and just to give you guys a little backdrop, I have every now and then caught some videos come across my timeline, and I try to listen because he does have a large following. So I have heard some of the things that he has had to say, and that's not even the big part. The big part is I've heard him say he advocates for rape. That's in a totally different video. He has also made comments that he has raped Caucasian women in the South. He has another video where he's sitting in a car and he talks about how he has forced himself on somebody. And not only did he make a comment, he's talking to somebody and he says he's talking about how he forced himself on somebody, but the person that he's talking to says, "As you should." And I'm lost for words, because when you look at the comments of the people who are watching this and you look at the supporters who are watching this, they are in agreement that there are women, let's be clear, there are women who deserve to be raped. Not only did he say there are women that deserve to be raped, but just now in that clip, there's also women that deserve to have a man's hands put on them. None of that makes sense to me. And the scarier part is that you have a large following that also agree with you.
Right.
So let's not respect the victims that have been raped. Let's re-rape them by making that comment and advocating that it's okay to be raped. There's no part of what you said that any woman, and I hope a large amount of men, would say, "Oh yeah, I agree. That's true."
Right. It seemed like even on the show, at one point, young Jock, he kind of was hesitant to continue talking to him. He didn't make any more eye contact. He started looking at his nails. I feel like he was only engaging because it was his show, and it would have been beyond controversial to just stop and start going argue with him. But in reality, the point he was trying to make about rap is in somewhat in some like true. They portray a lot of things in rap. Oh, they walking around killing. Oh, they walking around selling drugs. They walking around giving women liquor. But it does not mean that the artist is doing that and they forcing themselves on the women. So for him to even compare the two, it was almost he contradicted himself in that anyway. And then he makes it seem like just do it. It's okay. And that he's done it before. It makes more sense. He even goes on to say, like, yeah, I want to hit my woman. But I mean, they tell us not to hit our kids, but why we can't hit our woman? How is that in comparison? How do you compare discipline your child that needs guidance, that the Bible says, spare rod, but then you're comparing it to, if I could whip my child for doing something wrong, why can't I put my hands on my woman for going to the mall when I say not to? He's just no disrespect. He's victim blaming and shaming. In all honesty, that's what he's doing, because any person that's been through any type of sexual trauma, molestation, incest, rape, assault, anything, the moment you hear something like that, you so upset. And then you see a large, you see a ton of people agreeing. It's such a piss off, because like, really, that's how you feel, and you. So he doesn't even care. Even if he felt some type of way, make a disclaimer to the ladies that have been hurt. That's not nothing that I would do. My heart goes out to you. You had no empathy for any victim that might have come across that. It's a whole woman sitting on that panel. You had no empathy for her at all. She was the one who asked. He has no respect. Even if he has an opinion, it's not always what you say, is how you say it. He just come out like, oh well, yep. Remember back in the day we was rapping about it. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, every single man that was sitting on that panel with him should have immediately shut him down.
Exactly.
That's where we go wrong as a people. Just like Desiree said, he has a large following. You know why he has a large following? Because in this culture, we are so in tune and wrapped up them in the negative that we can't see any positive in anything.
Yeah.
Every single man with that female, with that young lady sitting she shouldn't have even been the one that had to ask the question.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
Every man sitting at that panel with that gentleman that was hosting the show, including himself, should have immediately told him, hold up, wait a minute, brother, because guess what? I have a mother, I have daughters, I have grandchildren, I have female cousins, all of that. You know what? And for me as a man to even sit here and allow you to go any deeper into this insane conversation would show me as less than anything but a man. I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
Yes.
They halfway agreed with him. The one guy, it looked like he was like, "Oh, I hear that, I feel that." Like, wait, I'm confused.
There's nothing to feel about that, and it's not cute. It's none of that. Why would you think that that's okay? And in my opinion, I feel like even though it's terrible for men to rape women, I feel like he's even worse than them, because he's advocating that it's okay to do.
Yeah.
And
I wonder how he would feel if a victim was sitting there.
I don't believe he'd care. Well, it's funny that Mom brings up the fact that the woman is who asked the question.
Right.
What's even more funny to me is that he responded with, yes, ma'am.
Right.
So you respect a woman enough to yes, ma'am her, but you don't respect a woman enough to not violate her.
Right.
So are we doing this for the likes and the subscribes? Absolutely. Or are you really that type of person? Because
likes
and subscribes, you know, and when you have a microphone in your hand and you have a platform that massive, and you're considering yourself an advocate for the Black community, all I hear is hatred for the Black community. That's all I hear. All I hear is you spewing hate, and you're trying to entice violence.
And what we're doing wrong. And where our culture is failing. Yes. And what we need to improve. And why we this and why we that. It's no way you can call yourself an influencer, a positive motivational speaker, none of that, when the moment, even if we do have problems, we're not perfect as a community, as a culture, as a whole. However, come with something to help us though.
The baby agrees.
He's just not letting me have
He agrees tonight.
Yes, he does. I'm sorry.
Audience, every now and then we do have a little bitty teeny weeny family member that joins us. So just bear with us, okay?
I am so
sorry. Know, I just hope that there comes a time where this whole energy that's happening with I can't even say the younger population now, because that's an older man. He's an older man. But I hope that one day the energy shifts to where people are attracted to negativity, because even as followers, I'm sorry, positivity. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Even as followers, you're cancel R. Kelly. Don't listen to his music anymore. We don't support that behavior. Like Tanya said earlier, Bill Cosby, we don't support that behavior. We have the Me Too movement. We have all of these things that are going on. And for you to stand on a platform and for them to even give him the space to say that, knowing that you have a large following, and like Mama J said, at no time did I hear any one of those men or women rebuttal. Nobody defended the situation. You have somebody standing to the side going, yep, I agree. I agree. And the most impactful statement that you can make is that there are things that a woman can do that would deserve to be raped. What are those things? What are they?
Well, I think this is just my thought, okay? Everybody remember, this is just Mama J's thought. If more women, me included, those of us that have been violated, whether it was sex, rape, whether it was incest by a family member, because they're all the same. When we start having platforms where we start screaming out and telling them and letting them know, let me tell you how it felt. Let me take you from A to Z on what it did to me, how it affected me mentally, emotionally, how it affected me as the way I raised my daughter, how it affected me is the way I handled myself around males, regardless of whether it was a male on the outside or a male within inside of my own family. Let me talk about all the years that I went to bed at night, not even able to tell my parents, because I was told that if I told my parents wouldn't love me anymore. And these are the people that I admire the most in life. Maybe if more of us start coming out and screaming that in their faces, sitting on those kind of panels, instead of sitting there passively and allowing him to say what the hell he wanted to say, maybe then we'll start having some change.
I agree.
But see, they don't want to hear the truth.
I think that
I totally agree.
I feel like his narrative would have changed a tad bit, the tone of his voice, the direction of his conversation, had a woman that had bypassed her stages of being passive, had already took her power back, who was no longer a victim and was a survivor. If she was sitting on that stage and telling his butt about himself and checking him and actually speaking her truth, his demeanor would have changed. His tone would have changed, because he didn't even know which direction he was going. He mainly wanted to be unpopular opinion.
Well, Desiree, and to the rest of the panel and our guests, piggybacking off of what you just said, let's think about it like this. Now, we don't know that young lady. We don't know if in fact she is a victim or not. But in a situation like that, if you knew that was what your topic was going to be with this individual, your best guess would have been someone that is a survivor of that.
Exactly.
Because now you have an opponent that can go up head to head with you on this topic.
Exactly.
Because they've been there, they've done that.
Yeah.
And but they don't want to do that. They're going to pick somebody that probably has not experienced or had to go through that in life. So she's even limited on what she can say and not say. You see what I'm saying? Because what is the saying? You really can't speak on it if you've never experienced it.
Right.
You can give your opinion, but you can't give the reality of it.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is, in my opinion, it's going to take so long to cancel him, because he has too much support. So it'll get worse, and his topics will get deeper. And then you look up and it's more offensive. And then it includes a whole nother section and category of people. It's going to be never ending. It's going to take too long to cancel him. I see it.
Well, then it includes
not necessarily, Desiree. Not necessarily.
I don't know. He has so much support.
You can only go so far as the people allow you to go.
Yeah.
If people would wake up and start thinking on their own and start doing their own research and getting a better understanding, like Jasmine always says, fact check, statistics, what's going on in your, how many little Black girls and women have actually been raped in the area, just in the area you live in? How many sexual pedophiles do you even have living in your area and walking amongst you, where your family members are in danger of possibly going through this and you don't even know it?
Well,
So,
here's my thing. So there are, per his comment, so there are women who deserve to be raped. Well, who's the men that deserve to rape the women?
Right.
So do pedophiles not count against kids? Or, do you have to be grown and a rapper and popping a Molly with a bottle? Or a gang member? Because even at one point when you said, getting into the gang culture, those women are raped. So are those is that the rape you're condoning? What rape are you condoning? And who are you condoning to do the rape is what I'm trying to figure out. Because you're such this pro advocate and you're teaching our people and you're educating everybody, and people do these videos saying that he's so profound and, we just love him.
He's profound, all right.
Right. You love him until you're the one in the room that he's trying to rape. You love him until he's in the room with one of your children or whoever, and then what? Then now we're on the other side of this. Now we're pulling out the Black Lives Matter signs again, and we can't decide what side of the fence we want to be on. There's nothing funny about what he said. There's nothing educational about what he said. Even if rappers, he just accused you guys of being rapists. Why don't you stand up and do a hashtag cancel or a hashtag I support the victim? Why don't you guys stand up and do something? Because you're sitting back and you're allowing him to sway a mass amount of people to believe that no does not mean no. No means yes sometimes. And that ain't it.
And then here's the other thing. What about all of the young, impressionable kids that are watching these videos? It's so many on Instagram, YouTube. They can come up on that at any time. And you're teaching these young men that it's okay to do this to women?
Now what I will say, and this is not to bash any of the young mothers out here, and this is definitely not to say that no woman, no little girl, no woman, no senior citizen, no female, no matter what color you are, what part of the world you come from, deserves to be raped, number one. But number two, ladies, really, and as women, this is a message that we need to be pushing on our platform as much as we can. We've got to stop letting our little girls be women before it is time for them to be women, because these sick-minded men that are out here talking like that individual, they don't put an age limit on who they do or who they rape or who they take or who they assault. That's not what they see. They see the flesh. They don't see the age of that child. They don't see a little girl wearing pigtails and barrettes. When their mind, all they see is flesh. And exactly, Latasha, no human being at all. But like you said earlier, maybe why don't we turn the conversation to, well, what y'all gonna do when we start raping you? Since you say it's the rape culture, what are you men gonna do when the women start bringing up the topic about raping you? Or why don't some of these people look that man, what's his name, the individual, in his face and say, well, since you are in agreement with rape, how about I rape your mother tonight? And let's see what his response is on that note. See, sometimes you got to flip the script on people like that. Because sometimes people, as long as they think people are listening to what they're saying, they'll talk about anything.
Right.
And then go home and regret they ever said anything that they said.
I think the worst, I think it's just disgusting that let that trend. Let the victims trend.
Right.
Let the victims' voices trend. Because whether you did it or not, and it was for a like or not, there are a large amount of women and men and children who have been sexually assaulted. A lot who have not spoken up. Let's talk about the fact that the Black culture already, like Mama J was saying, back in those days, it was almost a thing that if you were raped, incest, that you were to keep your mouth quiet. What happens in the house and to you is what happens in the house and is to you. How about being the voice for change? How about educating those followers of yours that it's not okay? And to, how do you educate these young boys and these young girls to be respectful? You're always talking about how somebody is raising their children, but you're online threatening to harm people's children. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody is ignoring that, and everybody has this man on this pedestal, which means that there is a large amount of people who love and thrive off of the negativity until you become the victim. Just said, like we just said, you literally just said, even about you and domestic violence. We are out here advocating for victims. We have people calling our hotline 24 hours a day trying to figure out how to flee their abuser.
Right.
There are women and men who are being murdered in their household while you're talking. At that very moment, there is at least 15, 20 people being killed by their abuser.
Right.
We just had a situation out here in California, Desiree Kean, if I'm getting it wrong, where a man, because you, Mr. Charleston White, I'm talking to you, Mr. Charleston White, because you said it's okay for people to be raped. A little girl was leaving school, and a man walked up to her and put his arm around her shoulders, casually walked off with her while he's waving at the crowd and the people who are trying to figure out what's going on, takes her to the back of a field or a building somewhere.
In the restroom at the park.
And then turns around and leaves that baby sitting in a park. Are you going to call that girl's mom or her dad and tell them that she deserved it? Are you going to, Mr. Charleston?
No.
I'm so annoyed because it is a time right now where people are being kidnapped, children, adolescents, that he seems to obviously have no respect for, because he just told an adolescent, when he tried to go live and say that an adolescent is 13 years old, an adolescent is actually an adolescent up until 21, that you're telling people that it's okay to rape an adolescent because you didn't put a disclosure on it. You didn't
disclaimer.
Or disclaimer. You didn't say a certain age. You didn't say what the rules were. I'd love to hear what the rules are so that I can be prepared when I go out. I need to know what the rules are. Since you have the handbook on assault and rape, I need that handbook. So when you put it out, I need to read it so I know what room to stay out of and who to stay away from. But we had numerous little girls who are walking home from school or going to school in multiple different states who have had some weird man, some pedophile, walk up, put their arms around her and walk off and rape her. And she's had to run home naked. Did they deserve it? Don't worry, I'll wait for it. I want a response.
Oh, he's going to respond.
I want him to.
And I don't want people to sit and tell me, well, did you hear what he said? Here's the problem. Stop looking at the one video, and why don't you go do the research and go all the way back?
Yes.
To when you first made the first comment. I'm annoyed at the rapper who put him on his podcast, not this one, because we already talked about Young Jock, but the other rapper who sat on there with 4 or 5 men on a podcast while he yelled to the top of his lungs, "You right, irate women." And not near one of y'all brothers stepped up to defend us.
They laughed.
Absolutely.
I'll pay for it. Our phone line is open. Because none of that makes sense to me.
At all.
I just told a friend of mine last night, I said, it is so heartbreaking because Black women.
What did I call him, Latasha? I probably called him something different because at this point I can't even remember the man's name. That's how irrelevant.
You finally got it right.
What I call him?
4 times. A lot of things. But anywho's
Charlie.
I was telling a friend last night, it's real heartbreaking because Black women, African American women, I choose to say African. I'm an African woman that got to America by not choice of my own. But anywho's, it's just sad that we have endured and we continue to endure more than any other race of women in this world, and we are the least respected. But what's sadder than that is we are the least respected by our own men, Black men, African American men. It's not the other races of men. It's within our own race. We are the least respected, women. And then it's by our own men, which makes it even that more devastating to us. We're already enduring and taking in all of this pain. And, like Jasmine was saying a few minutes ago, that back in the day, you didn't talk about what went on in the home, stayed in the home. Well, let's take it a little deeper than that. Back in my day of domestic violence and rape, there were no laws that covered us.
Right.
You could beat me up and down one side of the street, across to the other, and all the way in. And it happened to me where I was beat all the way from Orange County, California, all the way into LA County, with my head being held out of a car moving 100 miles per hour on the freeway. And when I called the police, you know what they told me? Ms. Corbin, I'm sorry, but weren't you dating this man? Yes, I was. Then there's nothing that we can do with it. He has basically back then, men had the right to put their hands on a woman, and there was absolutely nothing you could do about it.
Well, we were just talking about, even with the statistics of human trafficking, the statistics are high that it is African American men that are sex trafficking African American women.
Right.
That is our own men. The domestic violence is high. Those are our own men. Mm-hmm. It is time for Black men to stand up and start protecting the Black woman. Okay?
Yeah.
No matter what the situation is, it is time for you to stand up to start to protect us. Because here's the thing. Do you know why most Black women don't report domestic violence? It's not because they're ashamed. It's not because of they're scared their abuser is going to kill them. It's not because they're scared of what their homegirl gonna think. It's because they're scared to call 911 because they don't want law enforcement to come and kill our Black brothers.
Now imagine that.
So much.
Even in the midst of the pain, we are still trying to protect our Black men. And how dare you bring yourself, and how dare anybody give him a microphone, a Bluetooth, a bullhorn? Don't give him, mute him. Mm-hmm. He is a nobody. Mute him. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about him on this show because he's somebody.
Right.
We're talking about you on this show because you hurt a lot of our sisters.
We appalled.
We're
This is
devastated.
a
We're
pause.
mad. We're upset.
This is a safe space for everyone who has been through it, want to chime in, leave a comment, whoever wants to type in, call in, whatever the case may be, because we get it. And this is what's considered a safe space, because it's already not enough men out there that allow us to have a safe space about it. And then guess what? The men who don't agree with him but don't say nothing are just as worse. So you mean tell me you don't agree with him, you know it's wrong, but you ain't gonna check, you're not gonna check him?
Well,
You're not gonna say
you
nothing
get
to
him on a radio show or a podcast, so you definitely won't stop him if we were in the same room.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it, because if
they wouldn't have
got
to
quiet,
stop them, because I would.
well, I feel that they would be the ones that would. The men who don't speak up are the ones that'll say, "Oh, he in there raping her," but it's not my business.
Yeah,
That's them. That's them.
Speak out about it. And he doesn't need any type of platform.
Wow, look at what Latasha said. Latasha said Black women are disrespected by our own men, children, the church, workplace, and spaces. Honey, let me tell you, we got a show coming about the work. Listen, I got some stories about the workspace.
Girl, don't get me started on the workspace, please. Y'all want me to flip this table?
I got some stories about what else she named?
By our children.
I can't go there with the children, but and mom, you can't either.
Oh yes, I can. I can go there by the children. Okay, we're here to help the people, okay, ladies? We are here to help the people, not to save you all, okay?
She also said, or the police arrest the angry Black woman. My soon-to-be ex-husband labeled me as the aggressor and called the police on me for being loud.
That's what they do.
Wow.
I love our melanin men, and they ain't all bad. They are not. They ain't all bad. Because I got me over.
There's some very good men out there.
Me too.
I got me one of them. So do you, Tanya. We got me one. We got them.
Yeah. Me too.
She said me too. But even when I'm watching it with my significant other, he's disturbed. Like, he's looking like, is he serious? Like, so really? So we think this cool now. Like, I don't know. I don't, there's something wrong. And listen, Mr. White, we have a 24-hour hotline. We provide resources. Mental health.
We all had to laugh. I'm sorry.
We provide all of that. You are, even in the midst of me disliking, I will still provide a resource to you. Because
Absolutely.
This right here, it's not going to work. And I'm sorry, but without the followers, you don't have the voice.
Right.
So
we
if
don't
people
allow
stop listening, people stop listening. People stop engaging. Stop inviting them to your venues. Stop inviting them to your shows. Not only does he support rape and abuse, he promotes to cause harm to adolescent children.
Mm-hmm.
He promotes calling law enforcement on individuals after enticing a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but law enforcement, you need to, I almost said something, but you know what? Law enforcement, you need to do a thorough investigation.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I bet you right now, if somebody was on this on another platform or on this channel and they were talking or said they were going to cause harm, and one of our followers picked up the phone and called law enforcement, they would quickly go and investigate the situation.
Mm-hmm. So what's the difference now?
Is trending, throwing threats of bodily harm. He is admitted to rape. You think that the Black community not supposed to care about what you said because you said you raped white women? I wouldn't care if she was purple, pink, white, black, brown, gray. You don't. No woman deserves to have her personal space invaded
At
by
all.
But I think when he threw in the white woman part,
He
that
was
was
gonna get a pass.
that was the pass. That was the that was the black card. You get that black card because you know what? Oh well, so
I'm
what?
not my sister, but I do rape women.
Absolutely.
That's and you know what else I've noticed because I have paid attention to a few and not too many because I can't stomach him. But just going back on some of his interviews, what I have noticed is this: when someone challenges him in an educational, respectful way, he blows up. So that
Yes.
means that further lets me know that when you're challenged, you have no idea what to say. You only
Right.
ride the wave of people who agree with you because you're okay with them being ignorant too. But the moment someone educated in a calm manner, that's very cool back, laid back, but education know what they're talking about and confrontational in a very subtle way. When they confront you, you blow up. It makes me want to sit down with him so bad. I would
Not
use the
on this
biggest
channel.
words. Oh
No.
no. I mean face to face.
Mm-mm.
I would use the biggest words I have. I would hit him with every statistic that I have because you just need you need a fact check.
Yeah.
Right.
You need a reality check, a fact check. You need someone that's in that victim seat. You need someone who, the fact that he can even roll around in different neighborhoods in LA. I've been born and raised in LA. You don't, you got something like a privilege to go from hood to hood. The hoods that they allowed you in, I won't even go in myself. And then you go and then you disrespect their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah,
about
you
their
disrespect
women,
their neighborhood,
their
you disrespect
people.
their children,
Yes.
you disrespect the homeowners. And it's a joke to him.
Right.
You know, you literally go in and you set people up to either be killed or be arrested or whatever your cause is, just for your own sick gratification to think that you are proving a point to someone.
I don't get it.
Absolutely not. It's unacceptable behavior. No,
I
he
don't get
cannot
it.
come on this channel. Now, if he'd like to
But
meet
you
us,
guys have to understand, you're dealing with the same man that condoned what happened to George Floyd.
I haven't seen that one yet, but
I
I
haven't
keep
seen
hearing
that one
about
yet,
it.
and I don't know if I would be able to watch
You're
that.
dealing with the same man who just said that he would Trayvon Martin somebody's child.
Yeah.
So what part of the respect do I think that you have for the Black community? None. Trayvon Martin, what did he do to you? Not only did you just re-victimize a rape victim, but now you've turned around and you have this little statement that you made trending. So now Trayvon Martin's mother now has to hear this in a joking manner, like what happened to her child was funny.
Right.
But when it's Black Lives Matter, we all out there with the signs and we ready to go. We are with it. But when our own people use it in a joking manner, it's funny. What's funny? What's funny about Trayvon Martin being killed? What's funny? Don't worry, I'll wait for it. What is funny about what happened to George Floyd? Don't worry, I'll wait for it. Because you seem to think that you got the police on your side until you get the right one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean the wrong one. I mean, when you get the right one that tries to do that, then you'll be on the other side of the fence. Then you'll be talking about how bad they did you or how dirty they did you. Because whether you work for the police, you're an informant, or whatever it is that you're considering yourself, baby, that don't last long. It's only so long that they're going to use you and need you before they go drop you off in somebody else's neighborhood and let them do away with you. That's all that happens with that. But at the end of the day, you have sat here, you have talked about, you have disrespected Trayvon Martin.
Wow.
You have disrespected George Floyd. You have disrespected every woman, not Black, every woman. You have no respect for adolescents. And y'all gonna keep on opening up y'all microphones to let him talk.
He disrespected Nipsey Hussle and his family.
I wonder if there's any way to hear me out. So the LGBT community has a very strong support system. They have strict, the moment they feel any type of offended, they speak out in loud numbers. And it's almost like everyone jumps and suffocates that person to where they're forced to apologize. I wonder how you can take that, the same method they use when it comes to suffocating him to silence. Because I mean, you know what I mean? Because let him have said anything about LGBT, pick one of the letters.
Oh,
Let him
yes.
have something about, they would have been standing in front of every radio station holding hands, kumbaya, to not let him in. They would have boycotted, they would have surrounded, they would have had the higher power come down and say
Every
something to
one of
this
his
man.
social media pages would have
Would have
been
been
locked
shut
down.
down.
His
Exactly.
videos would have been
So I
removed.
wonder what's the difference. Why is it that we, as Black women who already have to fight, what can
Because
we
you
do
all
to
have
get
to
that?
understand, this is another form of Black on Black crime set up and perpetrated
Yeah.
by the government itself. Really, it's another form of Black on Black crime that has been set up and perpetrated by the government itself. And I'm definitely nowhere near no conspiracy theory. Don't
Right.
believe in it. None of that.
Right.
But facts are facts, and the truth is truth. Any way that they see that they can pit us against one another, they're going to publicize it. And by allowing him to have a platform where he can even go on and make those kind of, now if he had turned around and said, I rate and name off one of the white female senators or congresswomen,
They would have been
they
on
would
him.
have had the FBI knocking on his door in a heartbeat.
They would have been on him.
We need to speak with you. But because he's talking about it's okay to rate Black women, brown little girls, Black little girls, it's okay. And they push it. They're the main ones sharing and posting his videos. If you guys really want to know,
Right. But to be honest,
they
Jasmine, read the comments.
Sorry.
My glasses.
So we
Go up,
have a comment, a he laugh when I said Bluetooth, because then you take his Bluetooth microphone, bullhorn, all of that. Latasha Jimerson said Black on Black crime, true facts. Rico Swab said the police is violating our rights under USC 242. He also wrote another comment and said we have rights under the federal color law. And that's a whole different conversation, right?
Yeah, like we have to come back to that.
Yeah, we gotta swirl back around to that one. But
Yeah.
you know,
what can we get to Dennis Johnson's? Because Dennis said applaud or hate America, but
I'm
their
sorry,
plan,
I don't see it.
I see it. Dennis Johnson said applaud or hate America, but their plan has worked to perfection. Yes, it has. Find a token fool who has a price, pay him, and then let him infiltrate the neighborhood. Now he causes dissension amongst the ranks, and you can't blame them because it came from someone within your own camp. They're playing chess. This is not by chance. Look at the Herschel Walker. Okay, look at the Herschel Walker situation, who has nothing in his head but sawdust and a nursery rhyme. And Dennis, I couldn't have said it better.
That's deep.
You put it there, and the facts are the facts.
That's deep.
Exactly what I was saying. Exactly what Dennis.
He's a token. Yeah.
And they use us.
Yeah.
They come in.
Yeah.
And like he said, they infiltrate our neighborhoods and they use us. That's who they take us and plant us within our own neighborhoods to cause confusion, dissension.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the token that they put in the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And how he played the entire role. And he, he was, he went from being a jive turkey to, whatever else it was that he had going on. And he took down the Panthers. He reminds me of him. And listen, this is my thing. He talks about snitching on people. Well, here's my thing. This is my opinion. And we run a nonprofit organization, and we say something, see something, say something. So I'm not here to knock whatever he got going on when he's snitching on people, because my thought process is you shouldn't be doing anything to allow him that much power to call the police and tell on you. So I don't care anything about the snitching and the calling the police and the telling. I don't care about any of that. But you are doing things where you are pulling up to neighborhoods where you know that there is gangs, there are people out there that are not living correctly, and you're intentionally antagonizing and sparking them to react so that you can pick up your phone and call 911. I'm not talking about the snitching, because I'm all for see something, say something. But I'm also so much for see something, say something that somebody needs to call and say that you are a rapist. And that you
No, but seriously, Jasmine, I'm on the same page, because at this point now, it's almost to where I want to do a cease and desist. Stop talking about Black women. I want somebody to use his word and incriminate him. Yeah, he said he raped someone.
Yeah.
I need all of the facts and everything he said to be used against him in the court of law. I am totally down to say, hi, I feel a little threatened when he says stuff like that. So I'm a survivor of rape. Yeah. And the fact that he sit here and says, okay, it's a little triggering to me. Yeah. I would like to see some desist, that whole conversation that he talks about. Do me a favor, make it to where he can't say nothing else about it, because I am a survivor. Can you do that for me?
I'm gonna do you like you do them.
Right.
And listen, I don't have no warrants. I don't have no criminal background. I come from a very good upbringing. I have a great mother, and I had a really good father. Ain't nothing you can say about me and mine. And what we are trying to do is bring positivity to our community and educate at the same time. Do not get it twisted. Yes, we talk about the negativity of what we do to each other and how we can become better and what we need to change. And yes, there are statistics where Black men are sex trafficking Black women at a very high rate. Those are all the things that we're here to change. When you have a platform and you're trying to bring change, I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. But there is nothing in your language that speaks positivity. Mm-hmm. It starts arguments and beefs and threats, and people's lives feel like they're in danger. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. Let me just stop, because I'm.
No, but you're right though, Jasmine, because it would be different if his conversation were to say, "Oh, back in the day, rap was about rape culture, and they did this and they said that. However, let's change it, guys. Let's not start doing this. Let's change the lyrics."
Back in the day when rap first came out, it wasn't about rape culture.
No, not at all.
Those young men weren't speaking. Back in Run DMC and them day, they were not talking about raping us. They was talking about
being
hanging
in
out
love.
On Crenshaw, low riding, and hanging out at Venice Beach with their drop top down. They was not talking about, we was at the roller rink skating to their music, and wasn't nothing in there talking about no rape
at all. No, honestly, but it was probably 2000 before you heard anybody say anything about a drug, pants down low, or a bottle of alcohol in a music video.
But let me just say,
Latasha is right. I'm sorry to cut you off, Mom, and then I'm gonna let you finish. Maybe if we get together and call an attorney and have attorney type up a cease and desist.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I feel some type of way. I need a cease and desist, because every time he speaks about a woman being raped and me being a survivor, I feel some type of way. I am triggered.
Ladies,
I need it.
Tosh might have an idea, and we might be the first ones that do something like that and make a change. That's how change starts. Yeah. But what I was going to say real quickly to our guests that are here, that may be possibly coming in, we just want to let you know that here on Fact Check TV, we are just real people. We are real women coming from real life situations. We're not here to perpetrate or be phony about anything that we do. We want to welcome you in. And like I said, here at Fact Check TV, we are just real people dealing with real life situations. We're not here to bash anyone, but we are here to keep it honest about what's really going on in our communities, because we do want to make a difference.
And most importantly, we are a survivor-led organization.
Yes, we are.
So you got a whole bunch of survivors sitting here right now like enough is enough, bruh. Enough is enough. We will not allow it. We will not tolerate it. We will not stand for it. I'm not approving that message. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not. That message is not approved here on this platform.
Now, let me show you how platforms work, Jasmine. Speaking of platforms. Now, here we are tonight doing a show, a very positive show, where we should have women from all over the world sitting in here with us, involved in this conversation like our beautiful queen Latasha's doing. But guess what? They're probably all sitting over there on you know whose video. You see what I'm telling you, this is how we have to think though, you all. Because right now tonight on this topic, we should have women, at least one woman from every state in this country sitting in this room, willing to sit at the table with us and talk about their experience, strength, and hope on this very same topic.
Yeah.
Talk about their daughters that they're worried about this happening to. You see what I'm saying? But
looking for a change, contributing to their ideas on what could be next. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, it's frustrating because the numbers are smaller, the people speaking out are lower, and it's like, damn, come on, y'all. But we can't be the only ones.
But this show tonight, by the time we go to bed and wake up in the morning, it will have many likes, laughs, hugs, hearts, kisses, and comments because of the individual who we talked about tonight. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And wait a minute. Let's rephrase that, because we might wake up in the morning with a lot of thumbs downs, dislikes, and hard comments.
True, because who he is.
They support that movement.
It is what it is.
Either way, I'm here for the smoke. So,
yeah, well, either way it goes, we're ready. We stay ready.
Either way that it goes, we're here for the smoke, because I am. We started this organization to protect ourselves and our sisters,
empower them, support them,
and how dare
lift them up,
or we sit back and allow for that to be said and to not say anything.
Right.
Then we don't stand for our own mission. Our own mission is victims of sex trafficking, human trafficking, domestic violence, sexual assault, molestation, battery, violent crimes. That is what our mission is all about. So we would not be able to sit here and not say anything.
Well, like your grandmother used to say, you either gonna stand up for something or you gonna lay down for anything.
Right.
Yeah.
One or the other. You're gonna either stand up for something or you will lay down for anything. And I've always been, I'm a stand-up kind of girl. I'm not laying down for anything or anyone. Don't have to, not going to. And it's time that we call our Black brothers. We're not worried about the rest of the men because we already know their history. See, we know their history. This is who they've been all our lives, all their lives. But for our brothers, it's time to start calling them out. We don't care about your music. We don't care about your swag. We don't care about your clothing line. We're gonna stop promoting you. We're gonna stop purchasing your products. We're gonna stop coming to your concert. All of that until you learn and begin to respect us as women for who we are and what we represent in this world. We no longer have any desire to stand up for you nor represent you. Now,
guess why? Because we're the ones buying the clothes for ourselves and our men.
Yeah.
Okay? We're the ones that are going to the concerts. It's more women than men. We're the ones who are going into these nail salons, tennis shoe stores, etc. And if we just stop until we make you understand, well, let's just really be honest. Black men, you wouldn't be here without the Black woman. She had to. She birthed you. She brought you into this world. She held you for 9 months. She screamed on the table and spit you out. She got up every day and went to work and fed you. She dropped you off at school and picked you up. So for you to feel that you can disrespect Black women. And most importantly, he did not say Black women. He said he raped white women in the South.
Mhm.
This is not even about color. This is about women, period. But I promise you,
If you rape a white woman, he'll rape a black woman.
but here's the issue. His following is so big with the African American community that if this got a hold of the white community and Caucasian men and women were aware that that's what he said, it would be a wrap. But he's not that important to trend across their timeline. He's not popping up in their
news feed.
Because that's not the audience that's listening to you. So that's why I feel like it has not been pushed or spoken about yet on that end. However, like you just said, Mama J, if you'll rape a white woman, you will rape a black woman. I don't think rape has a
you don't get the double talk. You can't double talk me.
To rape. I don't think I've ever watched the ID channel or the Dateline where the rapist said, I rape women between the ages of 23 and 40, blonde hair. They don't. I've never seen that before. A rapist is a rapist is a rapist is a rapist. He'll rape a woman, no matter her race nor age. That is my concern. And I know,
as the old folks used to say, a horse thief is a horse thief.
A horse thief is a horse thief. And I know that we have ran our mouth about this topic because it has literally made us all very upset and sick to our stomach. However, there is not a moment that we cannot do our show without showing the individuals who have been reported missing.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the video, I have put together a collage that's going to show a large amount of women, and that's just I'm talking like poquito amount of the Black women who are missing because they were kidnapped, raped, murdered, beat. So when you watch this slideshow, you see I got it all in me tonight. When you watch this slideshow, I want you to think about him saying that there are women who deserve to be raped. And they can hear you while the video is playing, just so you know. So don't go talking cuss words and stuff.
I'll just go ahead and mute myself.
So, Mr. White, you look at those faces and think about their families and have that same energy.
And on that very collage that Jazz just shared with us tonight, the little girl at the very top, the second from the left on my screen, just happens to be one of our very own family members' little girls. So just think about, people need to really start thinking about what they say, how they say what they say, and how what they say affects other people's lives. I tell people all the time, before you let stuff roll off your tongue, you need to play it through in your head. And if it doesn't make sense in your head, then it has absolutely no business coming out of your mouth, because words truly do not just hurt, words kill. They really do.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
They do.
They have a huge impact.
Yes, they do, Tanya. They have a very large impact. And people need to start understanding that. I have an individual I share that with all the time. You just say anything and you never stop to think about how what just came out of your mouth may have affected anybody sitting in this room. Because it sounds funny to you doesn't mean it sounds funny to me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you need to consider everybody's feelings, and especially when you're talking on topics like rape and incest and domestic violence, physical abuse and emotional abuse.
So with that being said, because we could probably go all night, we have now hit an hour and 4 minutes. We did better this week than we did last week, ladies.
We're getting better.
We are learning how to control our feelings.
Jeez.
We're
Or
not
our
all
timing.
right. However, we would like to just remind those that are tuning in about the Doc Ellis Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to missing women and children and sex trafficking victims. Next week, we are going to have a show that is going to blow you away.
It's
We will
not
have
next week.
I'm sorry, week after next, October 27th. October 27th, there is a premiere. So if you go to the premiere now and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and make sure that you get the notification when it's time for us to go live. But that show is going to blow you away. We are going to have some dynamite guests, some very prominent individuals sitting on the panel. And we are going to have some survivors who are going to tell their experience, strength, and hope. The name of the show is called Trial to Triumphs, the ones that made out the game, baby. And they are going to peel back some skins. So please make sure you subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, then you won't know when we're back. You won't be able to hear what we have to say. Please make sure you check out the Doc Ellis Foundation down there. DocEllisFoundation.com. If you are a victim in need of services, please make sure you call us 1-800-370-0830. That's 1-800-370-0830. If you have a missing loved one who is missing and you need our assistance, please give us a call, send us an email, go to the website, fill out the form. We will contact you back within 24 to 48 hours. We are a nonprofit organization, so our services are free 99. And with that, that's all I have to say. Did I miss anything, ladies? Tanya, would you like to do the beautiful spiel about how to donate?
You can donate on Facebook, or you can donate on our website by pressing that donate button. And there's a way to donate here as well.
It is. Right under, at the bottom, there's a heart. If you press the heart, you can donate.
And listen, before we go, sorry, Tanya, if anybody that viewed tonight's show wants to talk about it, have any opinions, ideas for this whole Mr. Charleston white guy, this is a safe space. We're extremely mature women. We are survivors. The majority of us are survivors ourselves. Let it be an open topic. Let it be a discussion. Let us know. We're here every week. Week. And we can discuss it. Like, if you really have something to get off, even if you feel like you are okay with what he said and there's certain things you believe in, because we don't have to agree. We can totally agree to disagree, but if we can have a very adult conversation, bring it to us next week. We ladies, we chat. Yeah. We are totally open to talking about it.
And if you have any thoughts or ideas that you would like to share with us and you think about them and you don't want to forget them before the next show, you can send us that information at info@docellisfoundation.com, and one of us beautiful ladies will be more than happy to get back with you as soon as we can.
Don't forget, though, even if you don't want to send an email and you don't want to visit the website, We do have a call-in number. That call-in number takes messages 24 hours a day. We check them every day. You can call 1-888-222-6050. All you have to do is leave a message. If you're interested in being on the panel and you have something to say, like Desiree, Jay, and Tanya were just saying, you can also call that number, leave a message. We will make sure that when the next show comes, we allow you the space to be able to talk. Because, baby, we talk to each other every day. So we are more than in tune to bring on people who have something to say. So call the number to become a part of the show. Like Desiree said, if you have an opinion, suggestion, we're here. It's a safe space. We might get in our feelings a little bit when we're talking about it, but we're never going to silence anybody. And I know I said that man can't come on the panel. He can with y'all. I just won't be here.
Right.
So with that being said, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Doc Ellis Foundation /Fact Check TV. We will see you guys again next week, same place, same time. Again, please don't forget, you have to share the video. Share, like, subscribe, and we will be here next week, same place, same time. Have your cups ready. Mine's coffee. Mom J says she don't care what's in yours, but
I don't care what's in yours. Just bring your cup, get comfortable, and sit down.
With that being said, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
It's always the three of us.